All right, we're all set. Just let me know when you want me to share the presentation, Council President.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call the May 21st, 5:30 special meeting to order. Item number 1 on the agenda, public hearing for FY 21-22 budget. Public hearing for FY 2021-2022 budget. Ralph, you could put the slide up. Okay, I'll start off by reading the letter from the mayor into the record. Dear Council President Audiello and honorable town council members. Under section 5-2-2 of the North Providence Charter, I'm submitting my proposed budget for fiscal year commencing on July 1, 2021. I want to take this opportunity to thank our first responders, town workers, and residents of our town for their assistance and cooperation as we shepherded our town through an unprecedented pandemic. The health and safety of our residents remain our top priority. And as of the date of this letter, the town has vaccinated over 5,000 town residents. We will stay vigilant and continue to have on-site COVID testing and vaccination clinics in the town. Through sound fiscal management, the town has continued to strengthen its financial condition as it weathered the economic storm caused by the pandemic. During the past fiscal year, the town's cumulative surplus has increased by an additional $1.3 million, and the town currently has a $15.2 million fund balance. My administration's proposed budget will not result in a tax increase for the residents of our town. The budget is extremely lean, yet at the same time, it will continue to provide our residents with the level of service that they are accustomed to receiving. I have always been a proponent of increasing the quality of life for all of our residents. Throughout this past year, the town has acquired additional vacant land from National Grid and the remaining lots associated with the Coletti Farm. Our goal is to create other recreational opportunities for our children and residents by utilizing this land for ball fields and playgrounds. Improving the town's infrastructure is extremely important to me. I have continued wherever possible to allocate municipal funds towards improving the town's roads. Therefore, my administration has allocated an additional $800,000 toward road resurfacing. As mayor, I look forward to working with the members of the council throughout the budget process to adopt a fiscally sound budget and address the needs of our taxpayers. Very truly yours, Charles A. Lombardi, Mayor. Okay, Ralph, I'm not seeing the slide. Do you want to share the slide?
Can you see it now?
Yep. Okay. Administration, FY 21, $251,869. FY 2022, budgeted $267,015. Is there any question on the administration? Town council. FY 21, $501,606. FY 22, $112,804. Is there any question on town council? Legal department, $367,075. FY 22, $375,120. Any questions on the legal department? Town clerk, $229,909. FY 22, $229,464. Any questions on town clerk? Human resources, FY 21, $58,900. FY 22, $102,900. Is there any questions on human resources? Public buildings, FY 21, $910,107. FY 22, $971,262. Any questions on public buildings? Planning economic development, FY 21, $76,700. FY 22, $96,700. Any questions on planning economic development? Board of Canvassers, FY 21, 185,357, FY 22, 111,171. Any questions on Board of Canvassers? Zoning Board of Review, FY 21, 29,750, FY 22, 9,750. Any questions on Zoning Board? Other departments, FY 21, 79,600, FY 22, 80,100. Is there any questions on other departments? Total administration, 2,690,873 for FY 21, FY 22, 2,356,286. Is there any questions on the total administration? Department of Finance, auditing financial records, FY 21, 53,000, FY 22, 65,000. Any questions on auditing? Purchasing, FY 21, 82,781, FY 22, 78,774. Any questions on purchasing? Tax assessor, FY 21, 209,173, FY 22, 206,327. Any questions on tax assessor? Tax collector, 289,817 for FY 21. FY 22, 287,593. Any questions on tax assessor? I meant to say tax collector. Finance director, treasurer. FY 21, 330,026. FY 22, 352,675. Any questions on finance director, treasurer? Total Department of Finance, 964,797 for FY 21. FY 22, 990,369. Any questions on total department finance? Total public safety, my legal counsel just advised me I can read the total bottom numbers. Total public safety, 17,714,360. Proposed FY 21. Proposed FY 22. 18,035,037. Any questions on the total public safety budget? Public services, FY 21. 7,028,582. FY 22, 7,004,989. Any questions on total public services? Debt service, FY 21. 6,231,106. FY 22, 6,212,969. Any questions on debt service? Grants and contributions. FY 21, 16,500. FY 22, 16,500. Any questions on grants and contributions? Other, including insurance, fringe benefits, and various. Total other, 15,991,420 for FY 21. FY 22, 19,721,272. Any questions for FY '22? Any questions on total other? Total town appropriation, 50 million for FY '21, 50,637,638. FY '22, 54,337,422. Any questions on the total town appropriation? Education. Education appropriation, 58,668,107 for FY '21. FY '22, 61,413,947. Any questions on the education appropriation? Total appropriation, 109,305,745 for FY '21. Proposed FY '22, 115,751,369. Is there any questions on the total budget appropriation? Okay, I'll now turn this over to Mark. Do you have a question?
Oh, go ahead. Who are you gonna turn it over to? We're not. You're gonna turn it over to the school department?
Superintendent Goho.
Okay. All right, we're not, all right, okay,
Should I do the revenue section as well?
no. Mm-mm.
Excuse me,
You can turn it over, you can turn it over to him for the
right.
moment. We may come back, but I'll just turn it over to him for the moment.
Okay,
Councilman President, we do have a hand raised from the audience.
Mm.
go ahead.
Kathy,
Can you
go ahead with
hear
your
me?
question.
I apologize. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I don't usually do this from my phone. I just had a quick question for you guys under public safety. I can't open up the budget myself to see, but have you once again budgeted for 2 animal control officers in town? I know for the past few years, we've had 2 budgeted for, but we've only had 1 for a number of years. So I wasn't sure if we budgeted for it again and if that was actually going to get filled. And maybe what happened to the money from the past few years. I don't know how it works.
Council President, I'm bringing the mayor in now. He can probably answer that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Yes, I don't think we budgeted for 2 animal control officers because of the merger.
Okay, so this year's budget has only 1.
If I remember correctly, yes, Kathy.
Okay, great. And so we
And I will,
budgeted,
and by the way, I will double check that and get back to you.
sure, no problem. And I'm just curious, what happens in previous years when, it's been budgeted for and it hasn't been filled? Does that money stay within the animal control budget and carry over to the next year, or has it been appropriated elsewhere?
It's been appropriated elsewhere. And then also some of that money may have come back as a part of our surplus.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'll try to take a look at the budget, or yeah, if you could let me know if we're gonna have 1 or 2, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we'll get back to miscellany.
Is there any other questions, Ralph?
No other hands are raised, sir.
Okay. I will now turn it over to Superintendent Goho.
I'm bringing them in right now.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Ralph, I just need you to put up the budget slide presentation.
Can you see it okay, Joe?
Yeah, thank you. So, thank you, Council President Audiello, members of the North Providence Town Council, Mayor Lombardi. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present our budget to you, our proposed budget for fiscal year 22 this evening. I'm joined by Assistant Superintendent Louise Seitzinger, Finance Director Lisa Casanelli, Special Education Director Cynthia Van Avery, and various members of the North Providence School Committee. Okay, Ralph, next slide. So our proposed fiscal year 2022 budget includes the following information. State aid to education is currently proposed at $26,513,187, although that number likely will change once the legislature approves its final budget, typically in June or in the early summer. We are requesting a town appropriation for fiscal year 22 of $33,855,920, which would reflect a proposed increase of $1,005,660. We are forecasting Medicaid reimbursement of approximately $975,000 and miscellaneous revenues at $244,000. So our proposed fiscal year 22 budget is $61,588,107. Next slide, Ralph. As you know, there are various aspects of a school department budget that are not within the control of the school department, and there are yearly fixed cost increases. Some of the increased fixed costs that we are experiencing this year and typically experience on a yearly basis are personnel contracts for our certified and non-certified staff, teacher step increases, which are contractual, healthcare premiums with Blue Cross, which are forecast to increase at approximately 5% for the upcoming school year. Transportation increases, which would be our contracted transportation contract with Durham, but also mandated statewide transportation increases as well. Pension contributions, various types of insurances, our special education tuitions, and our charter school tuitions as well, which are projected to increase at approximately $400,000 next year. Specifically, the increases that we will see in our upcoming budget in these areas are as follows. We are entering into the third year, the final year of the teacher contract, and the contractual teacher step increases amount to $308,488. The contract calls for a 2.35% raise to teacher salaries for a total of $599,777. There is an additional professional development day, which was negotiated into the third year of the contract. Next year will be the first year for that additional professional development day, and that will come with a cost of $140,666. There will be increases in special education tuitions, and these are the schools, the various private special education schools that some of our students require through their federally mandated IEP. And we do not control the tuition costs that are set by those schools. And the various schools are increasing their tuitions next year for a total of $938,683. Special ed department and Ms. Van Avery has done a tremendous job keeping that number down and actually decreasing the number of students who are placed out of district. But the tuition for the students that we currently have placed will be increased by approximately $938,000, and that increase is set by the schools themselves. Charter school tuitions are set to increase at approximately $200,000, could be up to $400,000, but we're forecasting a $200,000 increase. Other purchase services, particularly in the area of special education, specifically contracted nursing services. We do have students who have arrived and moved into the district requiring one-to-one nurses, and various services such as behavior management specialists and the Autism Project, School for the Deaf, Hearing Impaired, and those services are forecast to increase at approximately $703,000 as we receive more challenging and needy population into the town that we must service. Transportation, which is our contract with Durham, is forecast to increase at approximately $110,913. And 2 years ago, the legislature passed a law requiring school districts to update and purchase new curriculum. So we are mandated to purchase math and science in order to meet the RIDE ratings, and that will come with a cost of $260,519. So we wanted to give the town council an idea or a flavor of some of the reasons for the increase in the budget. And the major drivers, as you can see, are factors that are contracted or mandated. The chart that I have up on the screen in front of you, I apologize, it is a little bit difficult to see, but it is a chart from the Rhode Island Department of Education, which shows per pupil expenditures by district. And you will see North Providence is ranked right in the middle. We are ranked 33 out of 63 in per pupil spending. And we just present that chart to you to show you that we have been very moderate in terms of our spending on education, spending right in the middle of the statewide average. So where there's been no excessive spending or anything that it would be considered out of the normal or out of the ordinary. So we wanted to give the public assurances that we are doing the best we can along with the school committee to manage our tax dollars in a fiscally conservative manner whenever possible. The next slide is to give the public and the council a flavor of the salary increases which have been awarded and negotiated to our most significant labor contract. And as you can see, we have been very conservative in terms of the salary increases that our teachers have seen. In 2014, it was 0.5%. 2015-16, it was 1.25%, and those with the top step teachers only. And from 2016, it was 2.25%, 2.2%, 1.60%, and 2.3%. So the average teacher raise over the last 7 years has been 1.7%. And again, we wanted to point out to the public and thank our teachers for recognizing that we've been operating under a challenging fiscal environment, and our salaries and the raises and our contracts that have been negotiated with the teachers union and our other unions have been within or below market value. The next slide is just to give you a visual of some of the expenses and revenues that are related to the budget, so that you can see the percent that each takes of the 100% pie of the state aid, school department budget. You see that state aid at 26 million. Our Medicaid revenue is at 975,000. The town appropriation is at 33,855,000. That is our requested, and other projected revenues are at 244,000. So the majority of our budget is made up by state aid and the local appropriation. Our projected budget, again, we wanted to give you the visual so that the town and the public would be able to see visually that 92% of our budget is fixed in either contractual costs or mandates by the state or the federal government, and that only 8% of our budget is discretionary or directly within the control of the school department. And that is primarily the tools of the trade, such as supplies for our classrooms, athletic supplies, the tools and resources that our students and athletes need directly in the course of their education. So you can see there's very little discretionary spending. And if we were to reduce that line, it would directly impact our students and our athletes in terms of the supplies and the resources available for them. The next slide gives you an idea of the year-over-year revenue changes in terms of state aid and the town appropriation. In 2016, our increase, local increase, we received a 0% increase. In 2017, we received a $200,000 increase. 2018, we received a 0 increase. 2019, a 0 increase. 2020 was a $300,000 increase. 2021 was a 0 increase. And we are requesting a local increase of $1,005,066. Again, that is our requested amount. But to give you an idea of the increases that we have received on the local side since 2016. And that concludes the presentation from the school department. We know that we are meeting with the town council in a budget workshop on Wednesday, but if there are any other questions, my staff or I will be available to take them at this time and certainly on Wednesday.
Ralph, is there any questions from the public for Superintendent Goho?
No hands are raised, sir.
Council President.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Hey, Superintendent Go, how are you?
Hi, Mario.
So I don't have any questions, but I have just a couple of requests. I know in the years past, you guys have given us kind of a line item breakdown of the budget with previous year spending and the current year projected spending. Could you guys provide that to us? Ideally tomorrow, so I could look at it before Wednesday, but I know we've gotten it in the past. You know the
Yes,
document I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, we can provide that to you. I'll have my finance director, Ms. Casanelli, email it to you directly or to the clerk, which is your preference.
If she could email it to us directly, I think that would be great.
Okay.
And the other request that I don't believe we've gotten in the past, and frankly, I'm not sure if it's even available, but one is some sort of breakdown on year-to-date spending. So where the school department is in their spending up to, the one that we typically get from the town side is up to like March or so. I always find that to be helpful. So I don't know if you guys can provide that, but I would like to see that if it's a possibility.
Yeah, as you know, our finance director provided a forecast to the Department of Revenue in early April, which showed that we're expecting currently running a few lines in deficit of approximately 280,000. And in addition, we need a boiler at Wayland for approximately another 60 to 80,000. So we know that at this point, there's a potential for an overrun in those lines. But she can tell you how much of the budget has been spent year to date and what we have remaining.
That'd be great.
Okay, is there any more questions for Superintendent Goho? Thank you. Appreciate the
Thank you, Council
presentation.
President. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Ralph, is there any other questions on the town budget overall from the public?
No one has their hands raised, sir.
Okay, I will move on to item number 2. Mafalda Street property, discussion and possible vote on the purchase of Mafalda Street property and the funds to be used for such. Okay, as you know, this item was brought up at the last council meeting. And I'd like to thank the council members, Councilman Famagetti, Councilman Amorigi, I know Councilman Bacallo, Porcio, Matone, you guys all were at that meeting the other night. You walked the district to inform the neighbors what was going on. You went above and beyond to make sure that everyone was comfortable with the situation. And I think everyone's questions were answered. Is there any questions further on this matter? No, with there being none, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the property purchase on Mafalda Street.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a Councilman Martone, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Di Lorenzo. Is there any further questions? Any questions from the public, Ralph?
I just have one comment briefly.
Go ahead, Councilman.
So thank you for highlighting the efforts that we went through. Obviously, this was a new issue for the neighborhood, and I appreciate everybody coming out and the council's patience and the mayor's patience and willingness to meet with the residents. I think it did a lot of good to inform everybody, and I think the mayor was able to alleviate a lot of the concerns that the people had. At the end of the meeting, I went up to most of the people at the meeting and their concerns were assuaged at that point. So kudos to the mayor for being on top of all the questions and whatnot. Given that, I always say that I represent the people in my district, and it seems like their concerns have been assuaged, but for the main issue would have been beautification of the property, since it does reside, sit in a residential area still. I know those was pictures of the DPW property. I am now in favor of the purchase of the property, but I would just like to bring up to the mayor and ask him to follow up with the concerns of the residents, cleaning up the property, and maybe encouraging DPW to further beautify the area since it's in a residential area. And if there are any needs that this council can address to do that, we'd be happy to work with the mayor for that. So I just wanted to thank everybody once again, everybody who was involved.
Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman?
Councilman Maggette. Go ahead, Mayor.
Yeah, so I think we all heard the neighbors' concerns. I most definitely did. And I agree with Stefano. And I can only guarantee you and everyone else that's in that area that in the end, this property, that area will be aesthetically pleasing. We're already addressing the concerns of inside the yard of the DPW. I think if anyone were to go up there in the last 3 or 4 days, they've done a considerable amount of work there as far as cleaning up. Once the vault, I call it the vault, the fuel vault is relocated, and we'll clean up that entire area. And that's all I can say. I think in the end, we answered all of their questions. I think we also, we also sent you a copy of a note that one of the residents sent today. And I think they put their trust in my office and, the council, that we will answer all of their questions and, their requests. So that being said, Mr. Chairman, I think it's going to be, once it's finished, it's going to be okay. So that being said, I just wanted to address Stefano's request.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Council President,
Go ahead.
I guess this is a question for our legal counsel. Does part of the motion have to be anything in reference to funding, or would that be a second motion?
You can, Councilman, you can make a second motion to appropriate it out of that contingency money that's located within the council budget.
Okay, there's a motion that's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Dino, I know a good dog trainer.
Why don't you feed that dog?
I knew that was coming. All right. Is there a second motion for the funding source?
Council President, I'll make a second motion.
Okay.
I'll make a second motion to allocate, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, $75,000 out of that council contingency fund to go towards the purchase of this property.
Okay, a motion has been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bacala. Any further questions? Ralph, any questions from the public?
No hands raised, sir.
Okay, there being none, all those in favor?
All right.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Mr.
moved.
Chairman, if I may,
Yep.
what's going to be the council's pleasure as far as the addition for the paving, the other couple $100,000? I thought that was a suggestion. I thought we talked about that at the finance committee meeting, and that was, I thought, was an understanding. But again, just trying to figure out what's going on.
Council President, can
Go ahead,
we just put that item on, would it be June's agenda? I think all we have to do is allocate the money. We don't have to spend it. Do we have to spend it, Mark, before?
No.
So.
You can,
so, yeah.
we've carried over allocations in one budget to another budget years past by way of ordinance. So we can discuss it. I guess we can discuss it at the June meeting. if that's what the council wants to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That would just be, I guess, my suggestion. I don't know if that makes sense.
Let's discuss that Wednesday, because I guess that was that's not on the agenda. So yeah, let's discuss that at Wednesdays or Thursday's budget hearing, if that needs to be added to Thursdays. Because Wednesday is it would have to be added to Thursdays. Okay,
Oh,
Thank
does
you,
that
Mr.
give,
Chairman.
does that give you enough time?
what's that?
Does that give you enough time? 3 days? Does that give you enough time to put it on
Uh,
there?
If I call Troy tomorrow morning, it would be for Thursday, correct? Mark?
Correct. Before, you have to do it 48 hours before, so you
Yeah,
have
so it'd be for
to do
Thursday.
it like first thing tomorrow. But
Yeah, I'll take care of that. We'll discuss it. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. See everyone Wednesday.
you guys.
Thank you.